Hey everybody, welcome back to DevTips. I feel like every episode I start like this. Is that true? So today is going to be a really cool episode because today we're starting on the clients section of the artist theme. And you know, I'm going through those kind of emotions when you're starting a new project or starting a new part of a project and it's like a blank page, you know? I'm going through that. I'm experiencing that right now. And that's always intimidating for me. That's always maybe a little bit scary, but it's also thrilling, right? Like there's so many possibilities. I'm not kind of locked into any path or any whatever. So there's like a lot we could do right now, and there's a lot of different ways we could take this. So that's really exciting. Anyhow, I want to first, before we get started, I want to thank everybody who's been submitting pull requests for the last little bit. Last week was just a bunch of pull requests. We did a few videos in 1 week, all dealing with all pull requests that you guys are doing, like really awesome things. So thank you so much for that. It is like, I kind of just for a minute say how cool it is, like how wonderful it feels to have people like you guys who are doing these contributions like care enough about these videos, about the lessons, about the community, about everybody about everybody else who's watching, enough to use their time, talents, and energy to make this project a better thing for everybody. I'm just so impressed with the level of skill that you guys are bringing to the table, the level of like thinking and ingenuity that you guys are using to solve problems that you see, and I just feel really lucky and kind of like special. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying thank you. Also, I just want to say, whoa, this is the 15th video. You who are watching this video, you are amazing. You are amazing. Just because you've watched 15 of these things and they're like an hour long and maybe more, some of them. So you're doing pretty good, man. That's awesome. I really appreciate your viewership and I appreciate your interactions. You guys are in the comments, asking good questions, being really supportive. I mean, everything, I don't know, I hear lots of like, hey, good job, I like this video. And you may think that that's just like a kind of a thumbs up, but like it really makes my day. And I'm not like begging for it or anything right now. I'm just saying that I appreciate it, and I appreciate your guys' viewership and your engagements, the way you guys help each other in the comments and kind of find solutions, or even you'll see me do something or offer up a solution of my own, and then in the comments you guys will recommend an even better tool or a better method or something like that. That's just so cool, and I just think that's really great, and I appreciate that too. So 15 videos, let's keep it up. Anyway, shut up, let's get started. You're not even talking, it's me, I'm talking. All right, so if you would point your direction to my computer screen here, we are looking at Trello. Remember Trello? Okay, so we have the showcase and gallery is done with development, and we've had so many cool things come out of that. Lots of great contributions and lots of great just discussion come out of those few videos. Next, we're going to be going into the testimonials. The testimonials section is, I call it clients area, but it's kind of like a testimonials. It's kind of like a space where you can allow, you know, proof. We call this social proof, when a visitor is looking at your work and they see other people that you've worked for that are appreciative of the work that you did for them, or that like the things that you've done, and so that's social proof. They'll feel, the idea behind this is that they will see other people appreciating your work and feel that it's okay to do it. It'll give them like a kind of like a social green light, you know, to like think that this is good work. It'll approve, it gives them proof that this is good work, and also encourages them to be a part of that community of people who like your work. It's very like hand wavy in terms of like the psychology of what's going on, but the idea is that we're providing a place not only for people to just talk about how great you are, but for your potential client. And remember, bringing this all back into our original goals of this being a sales piece for your for your product or service, this brings it all back in that way, in that it allows the person who's viewing this website of yours to say, okay, I can identify with these real humans. You know, I can see that this guy has 2 eyes and a nose and a mouth just like I do, and a brain, so he can decide if he likes this work, therefore he's one of my fellow humans and he trusts your work, therefore I have liberty to do so as well. Do you see that kind of logic in there? That's the psychology behind a testimonial section. Enough hand waving. Let's talk about what we're going to need to do. All right, let me just scoot this down on here and then jump over to the code. Now, remember our index page? Look how simple it is. That's because we're using these includes. Now, I'm going to jump over to this include, just paste another one of them here and call it clients. Clients? Clients, yeah. Okay, and then I'll jump over here to the includes and create a new file, and I'll call that clients. Oh, why is it caps lock? Silly. .html, and there we are. And in that clients.html, I'm going to say hello, hello, hello. And if I played all my cards right and my server's working, when I jump over to the artist theme, and refresh, scroll down, there it is, hello. And that is the new section that we'll be building. So we're going to have clients, and then let's make a space in our assets, CSS, section, new file, clients.sass, and then in our sections directory, just duplicate this line and say clients. And that's kind of it. So our clients, I just want to make sure this is working, so I'm going to say body, not class of body, just body, background, pink. And if that's working right, this background here should be pink when I refresh. Errors, okay. An error is found, conversion error. File not found, clients. Oh, see, I misspelled it. CLI, that's right. In my directory, I misspelled it. I'm glad that I test these things out like baby steps. Yeah, there you are. You're pink now. That means that you work and you can be done. Boom. Why do I always use the color pink to test stuff? I don't know. I don't know what that means about me. I hang out with my daughter a lot. Her favorite color is pink. She also likes purple, but not as much as pink. Duh. Hello. Let me take a peek at our work section to see how we did this. Actually, let me take a peek at our about section. So we did here. This is what we want. This is what I'm looking for. How do I kind of start this page? So we have a section and then an H3. It's not called ID about me. It's called clients. Yeah, I think. What does our design say? Clients, yeah. Okay. And looking good. All right, already. Whew. Okay, now let's dissect this here. Actually, remember what we do. I feel like it's been so long since we've done this. The process for generating the markup of something like this is that I use HTML to describe what's going on inside, like what's going on visually. I describe it with HTML. And I've talked about that before, but I want to let that soak in really what's happening. I'm going to look at this image, this picture, and I'm going to think about the way that the boxes work together, the way things are floated next to each other, the way that you can kind of how one click affects another and what I expect to happen. Okay, so the first thing I see here is a very long box, and that's going to be called the that's a div called the clients class equals. There we go. clients belt. That's going to be, because this is going to be a sort of a, what's it called? What's it called? I forget the word. What's this word called, guys? This is a sign language for belt. Carousel. Carousel is what we're looking for. So, and each of these things, client's belt. Now below the client's belt, I'll have a section for the icons. So I'll call it clients logos, because the controls are going to be logos. And div class client logo. So the difference between this and the parent is that these are singular while the parent is plural. Okay, client logo, client logo, client logo. I got 4 of them. In the client's belt, I have a div class. I have these sections that are going to be moving around, and I'm going to call it client unit. I usually name things units that are kind of like these repeating items, and so this section where it's going to be like the template, I'm going to call that a unit. So this client unit is going to be a repeating item within the belt, and it's going to be consisting of 2 parts. One is going to be called div class client face. I don't think that's a good name for it. It'll probably change. And then div class client ENT client content, like what they say. All right. Now in here, I'm going to put, basically grab my text. I'm just going to put this stuff in here. And then the face, I'm going to have a few things. I have an image. And I do have that image, but I don't have it ready right now. And then the other one is, I'm going to say strong, but I'm going to call it class client ENT client name, and his name is Scott Summers. 10 points for anybody who knows who Scott Summers is. No Googling. Don't Google it, you just have to know it. 10 points. 10 DevTip points. Not redeemable for any real value. And these I'll put in an M, and I'll call this client title. And his is Director of Design, Quebec International. I'll paste that in there. Okay. That looks pretty good. I think that's kind of it. Oh, we have these guys here. What are they? Like little controls, like next and previous controls? Here's how we'll do that. I want this on the outside of client unit. I want them on the outside of the belt too. I think. Yes, yes. I want them in the section and outside of the belt, and I'll call these little guys here div class client controls. And there's going to be 2 of them, next and previous. Client control, control next. And prev. Because it's gonna, you have to be able to like control the carousel, right? This looks like pretty strong markup. We need to say that one of these is the active one. So client logo, I'll say active client, and then that's the one it would be on. And then, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about assets. I have prepared some faces. I've prepared some SVG documents here, left, right, and a quote. And I've prepared some logos, and I've made them all black and white so that, I don't know, that's not important necessarily for your design if you guys are using this for your own work, but I have made them black and white. Now let's look at how we're going to, where we're going to put these in our project and how we're going to kind of use them in the display. All right, so the first thing I want to do is in my assets, images, I have all these work sections, and I want to kind of mimic that structure for the client. So new file, or sorry, new folder, and call it clients. And then in there, I'm just gonna throw everybody's face in one. Actually, all these things are just gonna go in there, aren't they? Everything except for the SVGs. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Now these are real people. I got these faces from, I think I got them from this really fun website called uifaces.com. This is a really awesome place to get faces. If you're like designing user interfaces, you can just go and grab a bunch of faces from here. And these are like people who have given permission, and you can submit your own face to uifaces.com. Anyway, that's a nice place to be. Okay, so we have all these faces, we have these logos, and let's put some faces in here. So this would be source, assets, image, clients, face dash AARONI.jpg. Refresh. Ah, Scott Summers, director. Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's almost perfectly done. It's already almost done already. We don't have to do any work. Just kidding. That's not very funny. I'll probably edit that joke out. Maybe not. I'm going to delay on the quotes and the, what's it called? The next and previous buttons for now. And I'm going to do this, the layout and style for this, what's it called? This unit, right? The client unit. So let's jump into our SAS and talk about how we're going to do this. Client unit. Okay. So the first thing to concern ourselves is the client belt. I have a little plugin for Espresso called Stylus. It's funny, like the language, like text highlighting for Stylus or for SAS, I couldn't find a good one, but ironically, the one for Stylus, which is a competitor of SAS, works just great. So, Espresso is one of those editors, and I hear like a lot of you guys talking about how you're using Espresso, and I think that's possibly because I recommend it. I think I'm the only person that I know that uses Espresso professionally. Like everybody I work with doesn't, they wouldn't spend their time with it. They don't like it. But I like it a lot. I like it because it's comfy. Like for me, it like makes sense. It feels like much more design oriented, which is my background. I'm a designer first and then a developer second. So it feels geared and oriented towards someone like me. But you know, feel free to use anything you want. Sublime Text is a huge one. Maybe some other time I'll do like a video about text editors and like a roundup or something. I think that'd be kind of nice. But in the meantime, I use Espresso, and to get SAS looking good, I have to use a Stylus plugin called Espresso's plugins are all called sugars. So I have to use a Stylus sugar. What was I saying again? Oh yes, clients border, clients belt. Is that right? Clients belt. Okay, pluralized. Good. And then this one is called client unit. Is that right? Backspace. Client unit. Okay. I want clients belt to actually be as wide. No, I want it to be 100% wide. Width. What the heck is that? Width. Width. Width 100%. Okay. Oh, never mind. I was going to give you some excuses for why I'm typing like an idiot, but the truth is I kind of always do that. So there's no excuses. Width is 100%. I want it to span the whole width of the browser, similar to what we did in the work section, because I'm going to be sliding things in and out of it, and I need to have like a framework to hold on to, right? Like when I'm sliding, it needs to be in relation to what? And that's going to be this client belt. So therefore, I'm going to call it position relative. That way, the children of it will be positioned relative to it. So client unit is an example of one of those things. How do I want to do this? Max width, I don't know. Max width is, goodness, what is it? Right here, we'll go for like, let's say this to this. What is it in inches? Goodness. Pixels, I want pixels, dang it. What is that, 700? Okay, max width will be 700 pixels. Margin will be 0 auto. Well, 0 auto 50. Okay, that's looking pretty good. But inside the client unit, I want my next two HTML elements to kind of line up. I can do one of two things. I could float them left, or I could use Flexbox. I think I'm going to use Flexbox here because it makes it so much easier. Flexbox. And the way I do that is I go to the parent of those two units, which is the client unit, parent of those two elements, which is client unit that we're looking at right now. And I'm going to say plus display. And I'm going to use the, what's it called? The bourbon mix-in called display, and say flex. Display. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. See what happened here? They're aligned nice and neato. What? Client content and client face. Okay, so they're actually not overlapping, but my client's face is too big for the box that I put him in, so we need to control the width of this one, or both of them really. And how we do that is we say, well, what are they called here? Client face and client content. Client face, client content. Client content needs to be, I'm pretty upset with them. So here, client face, we need to put a min width, minimum width, yeah, min width of, let's say, like 300. And this should give us a little bit more breathing room. Cool. Yes, that's good. So inside client face, I want to text align center. and I want to make all these things. If I go into that strong, like, which is actually I think it's called client name. Is that right? Client name. So if I go in here and make this one a block element, these two will just basically be shoved outside of the kind of, because there's 3 in a row and I take the middle one and make it a block, the other 2 will be shoved up above and below it. So I may not need to directly make the other ones blocks. So let's try that. Name display block. There we go. And then they're centered. Looks good, man. I'm into it. Cool. So we want to get that face, client face, image, I guess we'll just call it client face image. And we want to make it round. So right now it's 128. So I'll say max width is 128 pixels, and border radius is 50%. I'm concerned right now for, if is this smaller? Did I make it smaller? Oh, 100, not 128, 100. Yeah. Okay. And then I want to go into this right here, which was called client text, I think it was called. Client content paragraph. Client content. Font size 16 pixels. Was it 16 or 18? Take a check here. 18 pixels. And what's the line height here? 36. 18 line height 36, right? Pixels, font weight 300. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Looking good. This first line, I wanted to get it inside of a strong. So let's try to okay. And other than that, I just need to put these quotations above and below it. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I think the paragraph should be a little bit wider. Huh. Maybe I can make it max width of 750. There we go. That's a little bit nicer. It's almost perfect, actually. Now it looks like there's some kind of something going on with the lines here. Yeah, and right here I wanted the line to. What am I doing? This circle. A little bit tighter here. So what can I do to do that? I could tighten up this client content a little bit. I could just move it up a little bit. So client content margin top -10 pixels. Yeah, that looks a little bit more like what I'm going for. Okay. I like that a lot. Let's take a look at these names and make sure I get the name wrong or name right. So client name, you're going to be display block. You're going to be text transform uppercase, and This one is going to be font weight. E-I-G-H-T, weight 600. No, it's not. It's going to be 400. And letter spacing 1 pixel. Spread it out a little bit. Let's see what we got. Oh, looks really good. Okay, and then for the, what is this called? Title, client title. Client title, you are going to be font style, normal, and you're going to be font size like 10 pixels, right? Font size 12 pixels. Let's see what we got there. Looks pretty good. Color of, is it 999? Yeah. All right. I really like the way that looks. That's what a horse does. Okay. Cool. Now the next section to do is to move on down to these logos, and I call them client's logo. It really should be client logos, but everything else is, isn't it? Client's logo, client's logos, 2 plurals. I don't know. Okay, and they are inside the belt. They're not inside the belt. Here's the belt, and here's the logo. So it's a sibling of the belt, which means I go all the way to the root of this document. Clients, logos. Is that bad English? I think it's bad English. Poor English. I think it's poor English. And then inside that is a client logo. Okay. So first I'm going to make this position relative, and width is going to be similar to what's it called up there, the client unit in that, or sorry, the client belt. The width is going to be 100%. Okay, and now we can take these client logos and spread them across. So actually here we're going to say display flex, and get these guys running across as well, and move this up so you can see it better. Client logo, you are an interesting character. You are going to have a, there's for you, okay, you're going to have a height of, what is that, like 100, 40, 80? I can't count right now. A height of 80. And I'm not going to, yeah, min width of what? Min width of 200. A min width of 200 pixels. And your background, image is going to be URL assets image clients. What is it going to be? Clients logo 1.ping. And your size is going to be contain, and your position is going to be center, and your repeat is going to be no repeat. Let's see what we got. Boop. Oh, okay, looks pretty good, except for you need to be, what is it called? justify, text justify, align items, align. Well, this is going to be max. Oh, here, this needs to be max width, and it needs to be what, like 700? 750? What would we say the other one was? I think it's 750. And then margin of 0, auto, and 100 pixels, display flex, and then align items, align dash items. Is it align items? Center. And justify content. Justify content center. Align items is space around. Okay, let's see if I got all that stuff right. Maybe I did. Let's check it. Let's double check right here. Align items, display, box align. Yep. Box pack center, justify content. Ha! I can't believe I got it right. It's so hard for me to remember these things. I think I want space between though. No, I want space around. Okay, I want space around because when the when it's time for the browser to get small, I don't want it to like crush in on the sides and touch the sides. I want it to be like, you know, equidistant kind of space around it, and then the collapse. I don't want it to be conflicty and kind of like cause little impacts everywhere. So we're going to keep it there. And now these icons, as you can see, well, first of all, they need to be, what is it called? Your cursor. It needs to be a pointer when we're hovering. See that? That is a hovering cursor. And then we're going to say, and was it active client? Say, and active client. Now remember, an ampersand in SAS is a placeholder that means everything that came before it. So we're going to say if it's a client logos, if it's a client logo inside of client logos, and it also has a class of active client, then we're going to say make a box shadow of, I think it's like what, 4 pixels, 0 pixels, or is it the other way around? I always get this confused. Which one's X and Y? This one's X, or at least it should be, in my opinion. So we're just going to go with that. 0 pixels for the blur, and 0 pixels for the spread. But we don't need to put that, just blur is fine. And then the color is going to be accent. Is it just accent or is it accent color? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so that's fine. Cool. I want to put some margin on these guys. Margin is going to be 0, 10 pixels. Get some space, some breathing room. No? You guys don't want to breathe? Margins? Oh, oof. I didn't put the colon. Okay. There we go, a little bit more breathing room. Let's make that a little bit more as well. Yeah, 20. All right, 20 pixels breathing room on these guys. And that looks pretty good. Let's take a look-see here. Step back and look at it. Clients, here's the arrangement of the clients. This looks pretty good. I want to say, Okay, I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the this guy right here, these pull quotes, and I want to have it reflect the color of the accent, but at the same time, it would be easier to use it as a background color. But I don't think that you can control the SVG's color if it's a background color. It needs to be inserted into the DOM. Well, that's fine. I can do that. Right? Right here. Right here. Client content. Yeah, that's fine. I can insert that into the DOM. And we'll say div class client quote mark. And inside that, I'll make a, what is it? Mustache %% include. And I don't have it set up yet, but it's going to be include icons slash quote quote mark .html. And Jekyll should be really sad right now that I said that. Let's go make that includes quote mark icons. Yes, icon dash quote dash mark. Okay, new file icon dash quote dash mark .html. Cool. And then here in my thing, I'm going to open this up in HTML. Not so bad. Grab it, paste, get rid of this view box, and I don't want to have a fill color on it, and it doesn't look like I do. Okay. That should be good. Let's see what happened there. Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, what did I call that? I called it client quote mark. And client logo, client logos. Oh, it's going to be right here. Client quote mark. Okay, I want it to be, first of all, what is it called? Position absolute. Position absolute. Okay. Position TION absolute. And then I want it to be top 0 pixels, right null, bottom null, left 0 pixels. The height and width of it, let's make it a box. So we'll say size is going to be 50, let's say 60 pixels. Let's see what we got. Okay. That just means that client content needs to be relative. Client content position relative refresh. Okay, good. Let me get that back up where it needs to be. Okay, and then you see how it's sitting up there on top? I need it to get behind everything. So I'm going to do a little bit of z-indexy. Z-index 0. And if that doesn't work, I'm thinking -1 will. -1. Refresh. Okay, see, now it's behind the text. That's good. Now let's do stroke. No, it's path. Path is going to be fill accent. No? Why? Do I have any SAS errors? What is this? Error. I have a problem. There was an error. Illegal nesting. Was this too many? One. Yeah. Illegal nesting. Oh no. There we go. That's better. Refresh. Okay, that's the color, and I want to knock the opacity down quite a bit. It is going to be 0.3. That's good. Now I see that I want I want it to kind of stick up and out. I want it to be negative 20 pixels from the top. Yep. And negative 10 from the left. Yeah, that's pretty good. Negative 15. Yeah, I like that. Maybe negative 18 right here. So I can stick below that baseline a little bit. Okay, cool. I think I'm happy with that, the way that looks. How much time do we got? Okay, we have a little bit more time. Let's get these, whatever these things are called, in there. So clients, controls, next and previous. So icons, let's do these again. New folder, a new file, icon next.html. And I'm going to grab this next arrow. And icon, new file, icon prev.html. You could call these, what did I call them? Arrows as well, right arrow and left arrow. That's probably more descriptive, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. We are our own customer for these little choices. All right. Okay, so year 4040 viewbox. Preview, icon next and icon previous are ready to go. Let's stick them in their places. So next goes here, previous goes here, icon next. I just had a flashback to my childhood. We went to like a cactus place on a field trip. It's weird. Next, previous. Where did my codes go? Here we are. Refresh. Whoa, these things are huge. These things are huge. Go back into these next and previous. Get rid of that view box. Don't want it. Don't want it. Save and save. And then for my SAS, what are these things called again? These things are called client controls. Client controls. Dot client controls. Client controls, and then div, right? This is going to be both of them. I want to make the size 40 pixels and position 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 absolute for the parent, so that it's going to be taken out of the flow of the DOM. That's what we want. We want everything to kind of collapse on top of these things, and hopefully that should make everything go back to where they would. And our things are sized back to normal. That's great. So since now let me also show you that the parent here of client controls, indeed, what is the width of it? Client controls 40 to 80. Okay, so I need the width of client controls to be 100%. Okay, now I can say equal 40. I can call them out individually and tell them where to go. Oops. Client control prev and client control next. Okay, so client control next, you're going to go position absolute top actually I want to do this here. Let's do this to size. Where's that plus sign? There it is. Size. And if that's true, oh, this is going to be broken. I want it to be 50% from the top. Next, so 0% or 0 pixels, or well, let's say 20, so 10 pixels, 10 pixels from the right, null from the bottom, and null from the left. And let's make the same thing true of client control prev, except for null from the right and null from the left, and then null from the bottom, and then 10 pixels from the left. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so now let me show you how that happened and why those just jumped down that far. I put client controls at 100% of the height, which for some reason is turning out to be 386. I wonder why it's so low. Let me zoom out here for a little bit. Oh, you know what's, okay, I think I understand. I don't. But here, okay, so a better way of doing this, instead of saying that your position is absolute, your size is 100%, let's say client controls, what's the parent of client controls actually? Section, okay, section what? Class, we had to do this for work section. What did we call it? Section work. Section clients. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way up and say section clients. You are position relative. Oh, sorry, I'm all up in the screw. I'll get excited. Position relative and what? Oh, let's try that. There we go. Except for where's the right? Oh, okay, because we took the size off of client controls. Here's what I wanted to do. Make this a mix-in so I can kind of do it all at once. Position absolute. And then for these guys, I'm just do 1 pixel all the way around. So it kind of like hugs its parent all the way around everywhere. So see what happened? Let me explain. The client controls are set to the top, right, left, and bottom, if that makes sense, whatever. They're all 1, right? So they're right on the edges. And the units inside are set to 50% from the top, but they're 40 tall. So I want to say margin top -20 to pull them back up. So there should be like if this is the screen here and my controls wrap, what is it called? Controls are 0, 0, 0. I'm going to take it 50% from the top, coming down here, and then my icon should be like hanging down from 50%, and then I take a negative margin of half of the height to bring it up to like there, so it's like exactly in the middle. Now that should work no matter like where this is. See how they're coming in like that? And then next time when we come back and do more work, we'll catch those with media queries and kind of adjust how that's working. But I think this looks pretty good for a framework for what the content that we're going to enter and also creating the interactions for it. So in the next video, we'll be doing just that. We'll be finding places to get this content and make it kind of repeatable and kind of making the interaction happen left and right and clicking on these logos. I hope that you enjoyed this great episode of DevTips. I'm pretty happy with it so far, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to continue on with this series. I hope that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. The way that you guys are watching these episodes is very interesting to me. Some of the episodes have like let's say 5, 6, and 7, right? Episode 7 sometimes will have more views on it than 5 will. I don't understand that, but it's cool either way because it means that you guys are like getting either more interested as you go and watching them over and over again, or that you guys are just jumping on in the middle. I don't know. Hey, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. And if you did like this episode, share it with somebody. If you think that like a cool technique or something happened, oh, those are the wrong color. Actually, let's just, no, forget it. I'll do it next time. Anyway, that's for you. That was a clap for you. Bye.